Somewhat related to, but distinct from both the independent mainstream publishers and the black and white trend chasers of the mid-'80s, is the group of works collectively referred to as alternative comic books. Here the line between mainstream and underground becomes fuzziest. It can be said that the alternative press is simply the continuation of the underground movement, except that it has become more of a business than a revolution. As with independent publishers like Amigo, Eclipse, and the like, the direct market opened up a new venue for alternative comic books, which was unavailable to the underground comics they were largely an extension of. So most alternative comics can't truly be labeled underground, since they make use of wider distribution channels. But the peculiarities of an industry where superheroes are considered the mainstream prevents alternative books from sharing that particular label. What distinguishes them from black and white boom era comic books and those from the new independent publishers is that alternative comic books sought, explicitly or otherwise, to elevate comics to the higher echelon of fine art. Many alternative artists were part of the underground movement, and most held ties to the counterculture. They were generally to be as distanced from the mainstream as possible. Like their predecessors, alternative comics run the full gamut of style and content and are usually the expression of a single artistic voice, rather than the product of an assembly line type process, as is the usual case in the mainstream. This is an important distinction, since total creative autonomy often results in the most compelling art, and also allows for more personal topics to be fully expressed, though creative collaboration is certainly not without benefits. As mentioned, alternative comics now had the benefit of the direct market to reach readers through, but many also were backed by publishing houses that let creators enjoy improved production values on their books. The publishers, to varying degrees, handle the business end of things, freeing the creators to produce and promote their art. Most alternative publishers even allow the artist to retain aforementioned creative control and complete ownership of their creations, including copyrights and royalties. Self-publishing was and is still a perfectly viable option, but along with it comes the extra burden of paying all the expenses out of pocket and doing all the tedious work such as distribution, packaging, licensing, and handling financial records, all this in addition to the creative work. Publishers such as Fantagraphics, Drawn and Quarterly, Kitchen Sink, and more recently Oni, Alternative Comics, and Absence of Ink have expanded the field of alternative comics like never before. The alternative press continues to grow to this day. Not all alternative books are of the same high quality, but they nonetheless represent some of the most avant-garde comics art available and consistently raise the bar for mature content. The most outstanding achievement in the alternative press is Art Spiegelman's Mouse, which used anthropomorphized animals to tell the tale of the author's father's experience during the Holocaust of World War II, and simultaneously conveyed the precarious relationship between himself and his father. It won the Pulitzer Prize for Literature in 1992. There's far too much more material in the alternative comics world than I can effectively cover here. But in Chapter 6, I will discuss some of the more recent impacts that the alternative press has had on the comic book industry as a whole.